So this is the NFL 1980 draft, starting with the first pick overall by the Detroit Lions. Probably had a lot of number ones over the years, but let's not get into that right now. Detroit Lions picked running back Billy Sims from Oklahoma. New York Jets, also a team that drafts pretty high over the years, as we're going to come to see. Lamb Jones from a wide receiver from Texas. Uh, don't know much about him. Number three overall, 1980. Anthony Munoz, Hall of Famer, is listed as a tackle from Southern California. Green Bay Packers, Bruce Clark, defensive end of Penn State. Baltimore Colts, Curtis Dickey, running back from Texas A&M. Don't know if I've ever heard of him. Again, I was like 7 or 8 years old in 1980. St. Louis Cardinals, now the Los Angeles Arizona Cardinals, picked Curtis Green, defensive end from Michigan. Atlanta Falcons, Junior Miller, tight end from Nebraska. Don't think I've ever heard of him. No offense to you, Mr. Miller. Sure, you're an amazing person. New York Giants, Mark Haynes, defensive back from Colorado. The Minnesota Vikings, Doug Martin, defensive tackle from Washington. Seattle Seahawks, Jacob Green, defensive end from Texas A&M, which was a trade that they got or pick that they got from Buffalo, according to the stat. Oh, I forgot to say that Lamb Jones was from San Francisco. Kansas City Chiefs picked Brad Budd, a guard from Southern California. And New Orleans Saints took Stan Brock, tackle, from Colorado. San Francisco Giants took Earl Cooper, running back from Rice, from the New Jersey Jets. And 14, the New England Patriots took Roland James, defensive back from Tennessee. Oakland Raiders, now in Las Vegas, took Mark Wilson, quarterback from Brigham Young. I think we're going to see a trend of Brigham Young quarterbacks. There's at least four that I could think of, including this guy who I've never heard of before. Sorry, don't mean to insult you, Mr. Wilson. Buffalo Bills, Jim Richer, center from North Carolina State. They got that pick from Seattle. Los Angeles Rams, Johnny Johnson, defensive back from Texas. They got that pick from Cleveland. Washington Redskins. I know we're not allowed to say it, but that's what they were called back then. Art Monk, Hall of Famer, wide receiver, Syracuse. Chicago Bears, Otis Wilson. I believe he's in the Hall of Fame. I know he's very good. His name sticks out on my mind. I mean, that doesn't mean anything because I'm like a nobody. These are just names that I seem to remember. Linebacker from Louisville. San Francisco 49ers, Jim Stuckey, defensive tackle from Clemson. Got that pick from Denver, New Jersey, it seems like. I believe I've heard that guy before. Maybe he had a good career. I don't know. Miami Dolphins, Don McNeil, defensive back from Alabama. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Surprising they had such a low pick because usually they're pretty terrible. So I wonder what happened in 1979 that got them such a low pick in the first round. Maybe they actually got a season the year before. Ray Snell, guard from Wisconsin. Philadelphia Eagles, Ronell Young, defensive back of Alcorn State. Baltimore Colts, now in Indianapolis. Derek Hatchett, defensive back for Texas. They got that pick from Dallas. New England Patriots, Vegas Ferguson, running back from Notre Dame. Sorry, Vegas. Vagas, maybe, because it's Vagas. Running back from Notre Dame, as I mentioned, is from Houston. I believe the Oilers at that time. Green Bay Packers, George Cumby, linebacker for Oklahoma from SD, which I believe would be San Diego Chargers. Cleveland Browns also had a pretty low pick in the first round. Charles White, running back from Southern California, from the Los Angeles Rams, I believe. And again, you can see that it's very hard to draft in the first round. Pittsburgh Steelers, Mark Malone, quarterback, Arizona State. Don't recall you having a very good career, Mr. Malone. I'm sure you did. I mean, you're a much better football player than I'll ever be, but we're not talking about me here. We're talking about picking in the draft. 29, Joe Cribbs, running back from Auburn. They got that pick from San Francisco. And 30, Minnesota Vikings, Willie Teal, believe I've heard of him before. Not that, again, doesn't matter if I've heard of him before. It matters if the guy had a, let's call it a decent career or not. That's, of course, for debate. A defensive back from Louisiana State. Got that pick from Detroit, Philadelphia. 31. Where's the second round here? So we'll just go through the 32 teams, I guess. Where was I? Cincinnati Bengals, Kirby Criswell, linebacker from Kansas. And 32, Baltimore Colts, Ray Donaldson, center from Georgia. So that's 32 teams. I'm not going to go through all the other picks here. Wow, this is actually quite a list. Seems like there was a lot of picks in the first round. 100 picks in the first round. Is that possible? I thought I had only 32 picks. One per team, or sometimes two, depending if there's trades. So I'm just going to read those top 32, and we're going to leave it at that. The 32nd pick, Baltimore Colts took Ray Donaldson, the center from Georgia. And again, we see just off the top of my bat, from my memory, Billy Sims. Remember him? Of course, grew up in Michigan. He definitely had a pretty good first season. He was a rookie of the year, if I remember correctly. Amazing first few seasons. Hurt his knee pretty bad. Anthony Munoz, Hall of Famer, and Art Monk. And I believe there might have been one other Hall of Famer in this 32 teams, 32 picks, and that would be I'm not sure 100%, but I'm sure there are at least three that I know of. And we'll go from there, and we'll start with 1981. Bye.